Before I tell you what happened next, let me quickly remind you where we left off. I just discovered that everyone in my inner circle was betraying me. My fiancée Sophia was secretly meeting with Marcus Gray, the hacker who stole $500 million from my company. My best friend David was working with them, feeding information to my enemies. But the worst part? They were planning something called Phase 2. My destruction wasn't complete. They had more planned. So here I am, Wednesday morning, 3 days after losing everything, sitting in my penthouse that I probably can't afford much longer, trying to figure out how to fight back against people who know all my secrets. That's when I made the smartest decision of my life. I decided to hire the best cybersecurity expert money could buy. Her name was Lila Torres, 28 years old, former NSA cybersecurity specialist, the kind of person governments call when they need to find digital ghosts. I'd heard about her through tech industry rumors. She'd helped Fortune 500 companies track down hackers, recovered stolen cryptocurrency worth billions, found digital evidence that put criminals in federal prison. But she was expensive, really expensive. Her consulting fee was $50,000 a week. 3 weeks ago, $50,000 meant nothing to me. Now, it was a significant chunk of my remaining liquid assets. But you know what? When someone steals your life's work, you don't worry about consulting fees. You worry about survival. Ms. Torres, this is Ethan Cole. I need your help. Mr. Cole, I heard about what happened to your company. I'm sorry for your loss. Loss. Like Cole Industries had died, which I guess it had. Can you find the people who did this to me? Mr. Cole, I can find anyone who leaves digital footprints. But I have to warn you, sometimes the truth is worse than the mystery. Worse than the mystery. I had no idea how right she was. We met that afternoon at a small coffee shop in Brooklyn. Neutral territory. Away from my office, my home, anywhere my betrayers might be watching. Lila looked younger than I expected. Short black hair. Wire-rimmed glasses. But her eyes? Her eyes looked like they'd seen the dark side of the internet. Mr. Cole, before we start, I need you to understand something. Hunting hackers means going into very dark places. Digital places where normal people shouldn't go. I'm not normal people anymore. I'm a man with nothing left to lose. Good, because if we're going to catch Marcus Gray, we'll need to think like him. Act like him. Sometimes become him. She opened her laptop. The screen was filled with code I couldn't read. Green text scrolling faster than my eyes could follow. Tell me everything about the night your company was hacked. Every detail, no matter how small. So I told her. Everything. The timeline. The missing money. David's suspicious behavior. Sophia's lies. Even the secret meeting in the parking garage. Lila took notes on everything, but not normal notes. She was creating what she called a digital profile of the attack. Mr. Cole, this wasn't random. This was surgical. Whoever did this studied your company for months. Maybe years. How can you tell? The precision. They knew exactly which servers to hit, which backup systems to disable, which accounts had the most liquid assets. This level of planning requires inside information. Deep inside information. I already knew about the inside help. Sophia, David, maybe others. But then Lila said something that changed everything. Mr. Cole, the digital signatures suggest the hacker had access to your personal devices. Not just company systems. Your personal laptop. Your phone. Possibly your home network. My personal laptop. The computer I used at home. For private emails. Personal banking. Confidential documents I'd never shared with anyone. How is that possible? Someone would need physical access to your devices. Or access to your home network. Mr. Cole, this wasn't just corporate espionage. This was personal surveillance. Personal surveillance. Someone had been watching my private life, reading my personal emails, tracking my online activities. But who had access to my home? Sophia, obviously. David visited regularly. My housekeeper came twice a week. My assistant sometimes worked from the penthouse. Any of them could have installed surveillance software on my personal devices. Speaking of my assistant, she was calling with more bad news. Mr. Cole, 3 more investors want to meet tomorrow. Emergency board meeting. Emergency board meeting. Translation, they wanted to remove me as CEO of my own company. What time? 10 a.m. Conference room A. Conference room A. The same room where I'd celebrated the Pentagon contract just 5 days ago. Now it would be where my board of directors fired me. Problem? Lila asked. My investors are panicking. They want me out. How many investors are we talking about? 12. They control 40% of company shares. Mr. Cole, if you lose investor confidence, you lose any chance of rebuilding. We need to find evidence fast. Fast. Everything in my life now had to happen fast. Fast recovery. Fast investigation. Fast revenge. But hunting digital ghosts takes time. And time was something I didn't have. Lila, what if I gave you access to everything? My personal laptop. My home network. All my devices. Could you trace the breach back to its source? Mr. Cole, if someone has been surveilling you personally, your devices might be compromised. Anything we discover could be reported back to your enemies. She was right. If Marcus had access to my personal laptop, he could see everything we were doing. Every email. Every search. Every plan. But that also meant something else. If he was watching me, I could watch him back. Lila, what if we used that against them? What if we fed them false information through my compromised devices? That's actually brilliant. We could set digital traps. Make them think you're planning one thing while you're actually doing something else. Digital traps. I like the sound of that. We spent the next 3 hours planning our counterattack. Lila would analyze my personal devices from secure location. Meanwhile, I would feed false information through my normal channels. Tell Sophia I was meeting with new investors. Tell David I was pursuing legal action. Tell my assistant I was planning to relocate overseas. All lies, but specific lies designed to make Marcus and his team reveal themselves. Mr. Cole, there's something else. The money they stole? It's being moved. Transferred between offshore accounts. They're planning something big. How big? Big enough to destabilize several major tech companies. Your company was just the first target. The first target. Marcus wasn't just destroying me. He was destroying the entire industry I'd helped build. Who else is he targeting? I'm not sure yet, but the pattern suggests companies with advanced AI technology. Companies working on government contracts. Government contracts. Like the Pentagon deal that had made Cole Industries so valuable. Lila, what if this isn't about revenge? What if Marcus is working for someone else? Someone who wants to control AI technology. It's possible. Corporate espionage at this level usually has state sponsors, or competitors willing to pay billions for inside information. State sponsors, foreign governments, competitors with unlimited resources. I'd thought this was personal. Marcus getting revenge for being fired. But maybe I was just collateral damage in something much bigger. Ethan, we need to talk. Tonight. It's urgent. Urgent. The same word Marcus had used when he called the night everything collapsed. What's so urgent, David? I found something. About the hack. About who's really behind it. David claimed he'd found something? My partner who was secretly working with Marcus? This was obviously the trap Sophia had mentioned. But I needed to play along. Make them think I still trusted him. Where do you want to meet? Your office. Midnight. Come alone. Come alone. To an empty building. In the middle of the night. With the man who'd betrayed me. I'll be there. That was the trap. David wants to meet me tonight. Midnight. My office building. Mr. Cole, you can't go. It's obviously a setup. I know it's a setup. But what if we set up our own counter-trap? Lila looked intrigued. What did you have in mind? What if I wear a wire? Record everything David says. Get him to admit his involvement. That could work. But if they suspect you're recording, things could get dangerous. Dangerous. My life had been dangerous since the moment I discovered everyone I loved was lying to me. Lila, I need evidence. Real evidence. Not just suspicions and security footage. Okay, but we do this smart. Professional surveillance equipment. Remote backup. And I'll be monitoring everything from a safe location. We spent the rest of the afternoon setting up surveillance equipment. Hidden cameras. Digital recorders. GPS tracking devices. If David was planning to hurt me, we'd have evidence. If he was planning to lead me into a trap, we'd document everything. But most importantly, if he revealed information about Marcus's larger plan, we'd finally understand what we were really fighting. That evening, I had dinner with Sophia. Our last dinner, though she didn't know it yet. You seem tense, she said. Just worried about the board meeting tomorrow. I'm sure it will go fine. You're a survivor, Ethan. Survivor. Like I was recovering from a natural disaster instead of deliberate sabotage. Sophia, what would you do if you lost everything? If everyone you trusted betrayed you? She considered the question carefully. Too carefully. I'd probably focus on the people who still loved me. Family. Close friends. The people who matter most. The people who matter most. Like Marcus Gray, apparently. What if you found out those people were the ones who betrayed you? Then I'd realize I'd been looking at the world wrong. Maybe the betrayal was justified. Maybe I'd done something to deserve it. Deserve it. She thought I deserved to have my life destroyed. What could someone do that would justify destroying their entire life? Pride. Arrogance. Thinking you're better than everyone else. She was talking about me. In her mind, I deserved everything that happened because I was proud and arrogant. The woman I'd loved thought I was a monster who deserved punishment. After dinner, I prepared for my meeting with David. Hidden recording devices. Backup communication with Lila. Emergency protocols if things went wrong. Mr. Cole, Lila said through my earpiece, remember, your goal is information. Don't confront him directly. Let him reveal his plans. The drive to my office took 20 minutes. Manhattan at midnight is a different world. Empty streets. Flickering streetlights. The city that never sleeps taking a brief nap. My office building was completely dark except for security lighting. Even the cleaning crews had finished for the night. I took the elevator to the 15th floor. My executive suite. The same office where I'd built a billion-dollar empire. Now it felt like a mausoleum. David was already waiting in my conference room, sitting at the head of the table, like he owned the place. Ethan, thanks for coming. What did you find? First, I need to ask you something. Do you trust me? Completely. Do I trust him? The man who'd been secretly meeting with my enemy? The man who'd helped steal my company? Of course I trust you. You're my best friend. Good, because what I'm about to tell you is going to sound crazy. Try me. The hack wasn't random. It was commissioned. Someone paid Marcus Gray specifically to destroy coal industries. Commissioned. Like my destruction was a business contract. Who would pay to destroy us? That's what I've been trying to figure out. But Ethan, the money they used, it came from somewhere unexpected. What do you mean? The initial payment to Marcus? It came from an account linked to Reed Pharmaceuticals. Reed Pharmaceuticals. Sophia's father's company. Richard Reed, the man who'd welcomed me into his family, who'd shaken my hand at our engagement party, who'd told me he was proud to have me as a son-in-law. He'd paid to have me destroyed. David, are you telling me that Sophia's father commissioned the hack? I'm telling you that the money trail leads back to his company. But Ethan, there's more. More. There was always more. Reed Pharmaceuticals isn't just targeting you. They're planning to acquire distressed tech companies. Companies that have been mysteriously hacked and devalued. It was a pattern. Hack tech companies. Destroy their value. Buy them for pennies on the dollar. How many companies? So far, 7. All specializing in AI technology. All hacked by the same digital signature. All acquired by Reed Pharmaceuticals within weeks of their collapse. 7 companies. 7 CEOs who'd probably gone through exactly what I was experiencing. 7 lives destroyed so Richard Reed could build a tech empire. But why? He's already worth billions from pharmaceuticals. Because the future isn't in pills, Ethan. It's in AI. Medical AI. Diagnostic AI. Treatment AI. He's positioning himself to control the entire intersection of healthcare and artificial intelligence. The intersection of healthcare and AI. That was worth trillions. Not billions. Trillions. My company wasn't just valuable for its technology. It was valuable for its position in the future of medicine. David, how did you find all this out? I've been investigating since the night of the hack. Following money trails. Analyzing patterns. Following money trails. David wasn't a forensic accountant. He was a business development executive. How would he know how to trace complex financial transactions? Unless he'd been involved from the beginning. Mr. Cole, be careful. Something about his story doesn't add up. David, this is incredible detective work. How exactly did you trace these financial connections? I hired a private investigator. Former FBI financial crime specialist. Private investigator. With what money? Our company was bankrupt. David's personal savings wouldn't cover that kind of investigation. How much did this investigation cost? About $50,000. But Ethan, it was worth it to find the truth. $50,000. The same amount I just paid Lila for 1 week of work. David had somehow found that money while our company was collapsing. Where did you get $50,000, David? I I took out a personal loan. This was too important. Personal loan. Banks don't give $50,000 personal loans to people whose companies just went bankrupt. David was lying. Again. David, I need to ask you something directly. Have you had any contact with Marcus Gray since we fired him 5 years ago? What? No. Why would I? Just answer the question. Any contact at all? Ethan, you're being paranoid. Marcus Gray is our enemy. I'm trying to help you fight him. Help me fight him, while secretly working for him. Mr. Cole, I'm seeing something on your laptop monitoring. Someone is accessing your personal files right now. Someone was in my laptop, right now, while I was sitting in this conference room, which meant either David had remote access or someone else was watching this conversation in real time. David, I have a confession to make. What kind of confession? I've been investigating too, and I found some things that don't make sense. What kind of things? Like how someone has been accessing my personal laptop for weeks. Someone with physical access to my home network. His face went pale. Just for a second. But I caught it. That's terrible, Ethan. Do you know who? I have some ideas. People who've been in my apartment regularly. People who know my routines. David, where were you last Tuesday night? Around 2 a.m. Last Tuesday. I was home. Why? Can anyone verify that? Ethan, what are you implying? I'm implying that someone close to me has been working with Marcus. Someone who knows my security codes. Someone who has access to my personal devices. You think it's me. I think someone has been playing a very long game. And I think that someone is sitting in this room. David stood up slowly. His entire demeanor changed. The pretend concern disappeared. The fake friendship evaporated. What was left was cold calculation. Ethan, you always were too smart for your own good. Too smart for my own good. Admission of guilt in 8 words. How long, David? How long have you been working against me? Since the beginning. Since college, actually. Since college. Our entire friendship. 15 years of shared memories. All of it fake. Why? Because you never deserved it. The success. The money. The recognition. You were just lucky. Right place, right time. But I had to watch you get everything I wanted. Had to play the supportive friend while you got all the credit for our work. Our work. Like David had contributed anything beyond basic business development. And Marcus? How does he fit into this? Marcus was just a tool. Someone with the technical skills to do what needed to be done. But the real architect, the person who planned your destruction from the very beginning. David smiled. A cold, satisfied smile I'd never seen before. That would be Richard Reed, Sophia's father, though she didn't know about his involvement until recently. Mr. Cole, you need to get out. Now, I'm detecting multiple phones converging on your location. Multiple phones. People coming to the building. David, what's happening? Who else is coming? Insurance, Ethan. To make sure you don't cause any more problems. Problems. I was the problem that needed to be solved. This was never about a meeting, was it? This was about getting me isolated. Finally understanding, aren't you? I could hear footsteps in the corridor outside. Multiple people. Moving with purpose. Mr. Cole, emergency exit. Stairwell on the east side of the building. Move now. I ran for the emergency exit. Behind me, David was talking to someone on his phone. He's moving toward the east stairwell. Cut him off. Cut him off. They'd planned for me to run. Had people positioned throughout the building. I made it to the stairwell just as I heard the elevator doors opening on my floor. Voices. At least 3 people. 15 floors. In dress shoes. While people hunted me through my own building. Mr. Cole, I'm calling 911. But you need to get to street level immediately. By the time I reached the ground floor, I could hear them in the stairwell above me. Getting closer. But I knew this building better than they did. Employee entrance. Loading dock. Multiple exits they might not know about. I made it outside. Empty street. My car was parked 2 blocks away. But as I ran toward it, I saw something that made my blood freeze. Sophia. Standing next to my car. With 2 men I didn't recognize. They'd known exactly where I'd parked. Had been watching me all evening. This wasn't just a trap. It was a coordinated operation. Mr. Cole, do not approach your car. I repeat, do not approach your vehicle. I hid in an alley across the street. Watched Sophia and her companions wait for me to walk into their trap. My fiancée. The woman I'd planned to marry. standing guard to make sure I couldn't escape. That's when I realized the full scope of what I was facing. This wasn't just about David's jealousy or Marcus's revenge. This was about Richard Reed building a tech empire by destroying his competitors. And everyone in my life, Sophia, David, probably others, were employees in his corporate warfare operation. Mr. Cole, I found something on your laptop. Something you need to see immediately. What? Remote access software. Installed 3 months ago. But not by Marcus. Who installed it? Someone with administrative privileges on your home network. Someone who had physical access to your laptop for at least 30 minutes. 3 months ago. Right after I'd told Sophia about the Pentagon contract. Right after I'd shared my biggest business secret. Lila, the software signature. Can you tell who installed it? Mr. Cole, according to the installation logs, it was installed from your personal study. At your home. At 2:15 a.m. on a Tuesday night. 2:15 a.m. Tuesday night. The same time someone had used David's credentials to breach our corporate system. But that wasn't David in my study. That was Sophia. Lila, there's more, isn't there? Mr. Cole, the surveillance software isn't just recording your activities. It's been used to access your personal files, your email, your financial records. But most importantly, it's been used to access other people's devices through your network. Your employees, your business partners, anyone who's connected to your home Wi-Fi. My home network had been used as a gateway to hack other people. Every business meeting I'd hosted at my apartment. Every colleague who'd used my Wi-Fi. Every client who'd connected to my network. All of them had been compromised through my own home. Mr. Cole, you weren't just the target. You were the weapon. They used your trusted network to access dozens of other companies. Other companies. The 7 businesses David had mentioned. All of them had probably connected my network at some point. Business dinners. Client meetings. Industry conferences I'd hosted. I wasn't just a victim. I was an unwitting accomplice in the destruction of my entire industry. I could hear sirens approaching. Lila had called the police. But would they believe my story? Would they understand the complexity of what had happened? Or would they see a desperate billionaire making accusations against his innocent fiancée and business partner? Mr. Cole, the police are 2 minutes away. But I need to tell you something else. What now? The surveillance software on your laptop? It's still active. Right now. Whoever installed it has been watching our entire investigation. Watching our investigation. Everything we'd discovered. Every plan we'd made. Every move we were planning. They knew exactly what evidence we had. Exactly what we were planning to do with it. Lila, that means... It means they're already planning their next move. And Mr. Cole? I don't think tonight was about capturing you. What was it about? I think it was about getting you to reveal everything you knew. Every suspicion. Every piece of evidence. They'd used David to extract information from me. Used the fake meeting to make me show my hand. Now they knew exactly how much I'd discovered. Exactly how dangerous I was to their operation. Which means, Mr. Cole, tonight wasn't the trap. Tonight was reconnaissance. The real trap is coming next. As police cars pulled up to my building, I realized something that made my stomach drop. Everything I'd told David tonight about hiring Lila, about discovering the surveillance, about tracing the financial connections, all of that information had been transmitted in real time to whoever was controlling my laptop. Which meant Richard Reed now knew exactly how much I'd discovered about his operation. Exactly what evidence I had. Exactly what threats I posed to his plans. But it also meant something else. If they were watching me this closely, if they were this concerned about what I might discover, then I was closer to the truth than they wanted to admit. Tonight, I discovered that my entire life has been a lie. My fiancé, my best friend, even my own home network have been weapons used against me. But I also discovered something they didn't want me to know. I'm not their only target. I'm just the beginning of something much bigger. Next episode teaser, episode 4, The Network. I team up with Lila to expose the conspiracy, but Richard Reed has one more card to play. When I discover who else is involved in his operation, I realize this isn't just about business. It's about family, and some betrayals cut deeper than money.